Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. As you guys already know, Bitcoin has broken all-time highs and is now headed into price discovery. This is the cause for celebration because we have been waiting over 3 years for the outcome of this movement to happen. As Bitcoin investors, we've been all through the ups and downs of the market to get to this point where Bitcoin is now in price discovery, where this is ultimately where all of the new money floods into altcoins. So today, for today's video, we're going to dive into some altcoins, and I'm going to share with you guys what happens when Bitcoin breaks out of all-time highs and how much money is about to be flooding into these altcoins over the next year. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one Friday for you here. And always remember, guys, to join the fastest growing and the very best Discord community on Third Crypto. My server has over 17,000 members, so if you want to congregate with the rest of my community, share your thoughts, feelings, and perspectives on the market, then make sure you guys join and sign up today by clicking inside the description of this video, and there you're going to find the invitation link to my Discord server. On the Discord server, I also offer my VIP packages like the video course and signals, so if you guys want to copy every single trade that I take, follow my exact long-term portfolio, as well as get access to private VIP videos that I only make for members of my Discord, then make sure you stay all the way to the end of this video because I'm going to take a couple minutes to explain how you guys can get signed up, the pros of doing so, and what it's going to take to get you guys going today. One final thought before we jump into the video, guys, is to make sure to download my free ebook. This is a study guide directed specifically for new guys getting into this market that need a little bit more encouragement, need a little bit more education to go about making profitable decisions. I've made this ebook as a way for new guys getting into the market that can really help themselves out because this is a study guide I wish I would have had when I first got into this market back in 2016. So once again, links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, we're going to be celebrating the recent breakout of all-time highs, and then we're also going to be looking at the last cycle and some of the best performing cryptos of that last cycle, and we're going to be showing you guys exactly what happened to those markets of the altcoins when Bitcoin actually broke out of the previous cycle high. So all the way back down in the last cycle, Bitcoin topped out at $1,150, crashed to $200, and then it went from $200 all the way up to $20,000. We're going to be basically looking at when it was at $1,150, and we're going to be analyzing what happened to the altcoin markets when Bitcoin broke out of its last all-time high, because this is exactly what's happening to Bitcoin today, guys. This is a huge celebration because we finally cleared our biggest hurdle that was left in the way of price discovery. Now that Bitcoin has made a new higher high, specifically a new all-time high, we are now going to be headed into this price discovery where we really have no idea how high Bitcoin is going to go. You know, a year in advance at the end of 2021, you guys will watch this video and we're going to see this thing well over 100K, and this previous cycle is going to look like nothing in the grand scheme of things. And we need to be prepared for that, guys, which is why I really wanted to talk to you guys about what happens to the altcoins when Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, because this is really where all of the new money starts flooding into altcoins. All of the people that missed out on Bitcoin are now looking to buy the cheapest altcoins that have the potential of doing the same thing as Bitcoin did. Everybody's shooting for the next Bitcoin, right? And that's why they're going to pursue altcoins. This is really the point of the cycle where all of our altcoin bags are going to start pumping really hard. Our altcoins will be outperforming Bitcoin throughout this next year periodically. And this is really where the fun part of the cycle comes, because this is where all of the media attention comes in. This is where all of the mainstream attention alongside all of the retail adoption starts to really flood in here. And this is the point where all of our bags are going to get pumped to new all-time highs. We're going to see 10x returns, 20x returns, and some even well over 100x returns. And this is really the moment of truth that we've all been preparing for. And so I want to talk to you guys about really 5 altcoins today that were old altcoins from the last cycle, and we're going to kind of talk about what happened when Bitcoin actually broke those all-time highs, because I honestly think that this is one of the most important things that we can look at, because if we knew what happened with if we knew what happened to the previous cycle altcoins, we're going to know exactly what's happening with these cycle altcoins as well, and we're going to be able to find the similarities between the two. So guys, let's quickly, before we jump into the altcoins, let's talk about where I see Bitcoin headed from here. Now that we've broken all-time highs, you know, I don't think that we're going to be getting that dip to 14K. The dip to 14K, in my opinion, would have had to come right here during this consolidation. I would have assumed that we would have sold off, hit this 14K, and then kept going up. But the fact that we're breaking all-time highs and continue to go up makes me feel like that's not going to be the case. I think that what happens is we continue to rally up higher, and we end up hitting somewhere closer between 24 to 30,000 per Bitcoin. And then ultimately, when we do get our sell-off, it's going to be a retest of this previous high. I don't think that we're going to need to sell all the way back down to 14K. It's very obvious that there's plenty of people still buying into this, even though we're at these all-time high levels and now breaking out of them. And so, you know, guys, I don't think we're going to get that same type of drop to 14K. We still might see the 30% drop, but that 30% drop isn't going to be taking us all the way down to 14K. It's going to be taking us back to the previous high. And so that's what I wanted to update you guys with. That is what's changed with Bitcoin thus far. And so, you know, really, guys, it's kind of hard to say what you should do if you didn't manage to buy Bitcoin, if you wanted to buy more, because now we're breaking all-time highs and heading into price discovery. What I can say is if you're holding long-term, you know, at these all-time high marks, this is really where the majority of that parabolic move starts. The risk to reward isn't nearly as good as buying down in here, but you're also still going to be making money long-term. And so I just want to give you guys this update. That's what's changed with Bitcoin. Now let's actually dive into the altcoins that I wanted to share with you so that we can fully understand exactly what is going to be happening with the rest of the altcoins now that Bitcoin's breaking all-time highs. So the first one on the list today is going to be Dogecoin. You cannot go wrong with talking about Dogecoin. Dogecoin is really like the altcoin indicator for an alt season. If Dogecoin is pumping, you guys know that the rest of the altcoin market is pumping as well. And in fact, it's actually Dogecoin that leads the pumps. When Dogecoin starts pumping, when the Bitcoin pair of Dogecoin starts breaking out, that is always the signal to unload into altcoins because alt season is upon us. And so we always want to wait for confirmation through Dogecoin. If Dogecoin's pumping, it means the rest of the altcoins are going to be pumping, and Dogecoin is usually one of the first ones to really start doing that. And so we're going to go through here and talk about what happened in the last cycle, and we're going to see kind of how we are stacking up to the current cycle and what we could see similarities playing out over the next couple months to year to follow. So first things first, guys, this is pretty much the way that the old Dogecoin cycle worked. And this is the same way for all of the altcoins. Really, what happened, they made their first pumps, and then they made these big crashes. They went to new lows, and they pretty much just consolidated sideways for 3 years, just rounding out, going sideways. And then all of a sudden, once Bitcoin broke all-time highs, so in the last cycle, the all-time high was right here. So Bitcoin started breaking out of those all-time highs, and it really had a couple retests. Right here, we rallied up and hit it, and then China announced that they were banning Bitcoin and immediately sold off. And so this was kind of one of those black swan events. Right here, you know, we get this little impulse, we hit off this supply, and then we reject again, but we still made a higher high. And then we finally start breaking out. So it was between the months of the 1st of January to about the end of March in which we actually broke out of that all-time high, and that was in 2017, right? So at the very beginning of 2017, from late winter to early spring, this is when Bitcoin started breaking all-time highs. And so we're going to go through here and actually look at these altcoins, and we're going to see when they started taking off. So as you guys can tell, Dogecoin consolidated here for 3 years approximately. We peaked in about 2014, then we had 3 years of consolidation. Year 1, year 2, and year 3. 15, 16, and 17. We had 3 years worth of this sideways action where nothing happened, right? And then we can see right here, right at March of the 8th of 2017, that's when everything just went straight up vertical, right? Dogecoin starts pumping, it goes vertical, and then we have this sharp sell-off, and then we ended up getting one more final blow off top as we closed out that 2017 bull run and topped out into the beginning of 2018, right? And then that's where we've been ever since, the same type of sideways action. Now, this is pretty much the same as what we're seeing here, and it shows to us that with Bitcoin, you know, Bitcoin started breaking out between, you know, the 1st of January to the end of March, right? So the end of March is right when Dogecoin started breaking out. So it was literally right here at the very bottom of this sell-off and Bitcoin started going parabolic. This was the moment when Dogecoin started breaking out as well. And so that's the move that we see right here. So this big upswing in price past new all-time highs before we ended up having this big correction. That was this move right here, this big upswing after we broke all-time highs. And that's why I honestly think that we could be seeing the same thing here inside of Bitcoin today. Because as it stands in Bitcoin, you know, we're just barely breaking out of these all-time highs. And so when Bitcoin did that, it had this big upswing, right? And in that upswing, we saw many altcoins really start to rally hard. This upswing right here. This is where we saw altcoins really start to rally hard. And we can see that that was the case for Dogecoin. It started pumping at the very beginning of March, had this big pump, and then we ended up going the whole rest of the year continuing to do that. And so this is how Dogecoin looked. It was more of a laggard. It waited until the very end, and as you guys can see, it literally didn't do anything. Bitcoin had its entire uptrend for a while, all the way back up to all-time highs. And then Dogecoin literally didn't pump, didn't do a single thing until Bitcoin broke those all-time highs. And then that's when this entire move happened, was right when Bitcoin broke all-time highs. Even when we come into some of these other altcoins like Ethereum, for example, this is another prime example. So Ethereum, it was a little bit different. Some of these other high cap coins, the coins that actually started outperforming Bitcoin throughout that last cycle, they were uptrending as Bitcoin was making its way up to its all-time high. So as Bitcoin was going through this action, going up to its all-time high, going up to this red line, as Bitcoin was going through this period of time throughout that year of 2016, the altcoins that outperformed Bitcoin, they were actually leading that pump. So in Ethereum, Bitcoin broke all-time highs about right here. So Bitcoin hit all-time highs right when Ethereum bottomed. So the very 1st of January takes place right here. So Bitcoin actually bottoms out, and then that's when Bitcoin went from new all-time highs into price discovery, and this is what happened to Ethereum. So right here at the very, very bottom of this was when Bitcoin broke all-time highs, and then this is what followed throughout the next year. A year exactly takes us to all the way up to $1,400 from like $6, right? And so Ethereum, the difference between Ethereum and Dogecoin was throughout this period of time, Bitcoin was uptrending, but Dogecoin was just staying flat. It wasn't moving anywhere. But Ethereum itself was actually uptrending, right? Ethereum went from about 40 cents all the way up to $21, and then from $21 back down to $5, and then from $5 is when Bitcoin broke all-time highs. And so Ethereum had already made one higher high. It had already made an entire impulse before Bitcoin had been breaking all-time highs. And so the difference between that and Dogecoin was Dogecoin just went sideways, right? It didn't make any higher highs. It was just really going sideways for a while. And then once Bitcoin broke all-time highs, it just immediately started pumping. Whereas Ethereum, it was already making higher highs and higher lows. And then once Bitcoin broke all-time highs right here, that's when it just went super parabolic. And so this is where we see a little bit of a difference here between some of the old high-cap coins. If we take a look at Monero, for example, Monero followed more closely to Ethereum, where, it kind of went through this big rounded structure. But Monero actually started breaking out at about a year ahead of all of these other high caps. So Ethereum or XMR started breaking out at about the 1st of February. And then if we fast forward to the beginning of 2017, when Bitcoin first broke its all-time highs, XMR was already clear over here. And so, Bitcoin had made its attempt to break all-time highs. It was right at those all-time highs. And XMR had already broken all-time highs and was already in price discovery. And so Bitcoin breaks all-time highs right here. It actually taps all-time highs right here. And XMR had already been going up, making higher highs. And this is what followed. Once Bitcoin broke all-time highs, this is what happened for XMR. The majority of that impulse came once Bitcoin broke those all-time highs. And so, guys, you're noticing a pattern here. When we look at what happened to the old altcoin cycles from back in the last one, we can notice that once Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, that's when the majority of money floods into the altcoins. Some altcoins are going to be outliers. Some altcoins are going to be going up, making new all-time highs as Bitcoin is first breaking his all-time highs, right? When that is happening, there's going to be outlying altcoins. These are going to be the best performing altcoins in that cycle. We're seeing that with Chainlink today. We're seeing that with Aave. We're seeing that with some of these other coins, these other DeFi protocols. We're starting to see those things really leading the charge. They're already making new all-time highs. They're already breaking out. And Bitcoin's just now starting to make price discovery as we break all-time highs. This is the same thing that's happening again, guys. There's no doubt in my mind that this is what's going to be playing out once more. Once Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, which is what we're seeing today, this is where all of the money floods into altcoins. And this is where the exciting part starts, guys. Even if we come over and take a look at Dash, the same thing can be said. We can fast forward to the moment when Bitcoin started breaking all-time highs, the 1st of December. So that's going to be taking us to about right here. So Bitcoin hits all-time highs right here. Bitcoin starts breaking all-time highs at about here. So we can see that Dash itself was already making new all-time highs once Bitcoin started breaking all-time highs and hitting all-time highs, Dash was already making new all-time highs. So Dash was just barely outperforming Bitcoin throughout this time. But this just goes to show you that they're all fairly correlated to some degree. Whether they wait for Bitcoin to start breaking all-time highs and then they start going up, or whether they start outperforming Bitcoin as Bitcoin's going up to all-time highs, this is the way the altcoins work, guys. They're either outperforming Bitcoin or they're kind of lagging Bitcoin and then outperforming it in spurts. We can see that Dogecoin waited until Bitcoin broke all-time highs and then it started going up. Coins like Ethereum were outperforming Bitcoin, and so as Bitcoin was going up, they were outperforming it going up higher. Same thing with Monero, same thing with Ethereum, same thing with Dash. And then we get into coins like Stellar Lumens. And I think that this is going to be pretty important to understand, because even if you missed out on some of these altcoins in this cycle that are already outperforming Bitcoin, there's many altcoins that haven't moved that are going to be breaking out just as hard. And we can jump in on these if we've missed out on some of them. So with Stellar, for example, Stellar didn't start going parabolic until about the end of March. So the very beginning of April was when Stellar Lumens actually started breaking out. And I remember trading this in the last cycle and jumping in heavily into this one because it was one of the last ones that hadn't done anything. And we can see that shortly after is it pretty much just did the same thing Doge did. It had an instantaneous pump, had the sharp crash, and then it went for another even bigger pump, right? And this is going to be the same thing that plays out again, guys. This cycle is going to be virtually no different. Even the time frames are lining up the same. So this one waited just a little bit longer. This one waited until the very end of March before it did anything. So that would have been the equivalent of about here at the very bottom, towards this first little impulse as we were heading into price discovery. This is when Stellar Lumens started making its big impulse. And so we're going to see the same things playing out once again, whether it's a coin lagging, whether it's a coin outperforming Bitcoin, or whether it's a coin that's kind of just parrying with Bitcoin. We're going to see the same type of stuff play out. And I'm going to prove it to you guys right here. If we take a look at basic attention token and we actually just overlay what we're seeing today over one of the previous altcoins from the last cycle, you guys are going to start to understand exactly what I'm talking about here. And I've saved this pattern for last for the people that have actually waited this long to hear it out, because honestly, guys, this is the exact same thing that I expect to play out once again. And if we actually come over here and take a look at Stellar, you guys are going to start to understand kind of what I'm talking about here. When we overlay the two, you guys are going to start to see that these are pretty much the same type of chart. Obviously, the price structure can look a little bit different. It doesn't always have to be the exact same. But what we can see here playing out is roughly the same type of price action, right? Roughly the same. And what's really cool is if we actually even analyze like the time frames between the two, I can almost guarantee that these are almost the exact same time frame. So from basic attention token, from the point in which it got added to the exchanges from the point we're at today is about 1,300 days. Let's see how long it took for Stellar Lumens to pump. So from where it started pumping was about 1,000 days. So we've actually even accumulated 300 days longer, almost an entire year longer of accumulation that this one's had. When the price structure looks this identical, and when we can see how the time frames line up almost identical once again, the only difference is this one's accumulated 3 times longer. And look at the pump produced inside of Stellar Lumens. Vertical, straight up in the air. And the same thing, guys, is going to happen again. All of these newer coins are going to do the same thing because we're going through a fresh new Bitcoin cycle. When this happens, altcoins go crazy, and we have an amazing opportunity of making a lot of money here. And so I wanted to give you guys this video, just more of a guide to map out what's happened to prior market cycles once Bitcoin's broken all-time highs. And really, some of them lag, some of them outperform, and some of them kind of stay the same of what Bitcoin does. And this is going to be the same thing that happens again. And so I just wanted to give you guys my perspective on this. I wanted to make sure that you guys understand why I hold. Because ultimately, I want to hold throughout all of this. We're going to get some amazing parabolic uptrends, and it's all going to come throughout 2021. And so by me trying to take profits too early, I'm just going to end up missing out on a lot of money. So I'm going to be holding throughout the next year, and this is why. Because once they go parabolic, once Bitcoin breaks those all-time highs, altcoins go stupid insane, and we can make a lot of money off of them. So guys, as I wrap up this video, I want to take a couple minutes to explain how you guys can sign up for the video course and signals. For the people that support this channel, for the people that really love what I do, the analysis that I bring to you guys every day on YouTube, all of the above, make sure you guys sign up for my signals, because this is going to be the way for you guys to get the ground floor access of all the trades that I take. You'll know where 80% of my portfolio is invested, each allocation to what percentage I've put into each investment, and that's how you're going to know where over 80% of my money is in my long-term portfolio. I also post every single new trade that I take, whether it's a DeFi pick, whether it's a low cap, whether it's mid cap, high cap, a new newsletter coin that I get from somebody. All of them are going to get posted inside of my Discord, and so you guys are going to know exactly what trades that I'm taking before I ever talk about them on YouTube. And so it's going to be a way for you guys to get in at the ground floor on a lot of these trades before I ever talk about them and make a lot of profit with me, guys. We nail so many trades each and every day. So many of our profits have gone up substantially over the last couple months, and this is only a number that's continuing to grow, which is why you guys, new people getting into this market, need to have a little encouragement, need to have a little bit of a solid portfolio to go off of for new people that don't really understand as much as I do. And so that's why following my portfolio, following the trades that I take, you know that you're getting access to the very best strategies, the very best investments that I can find, that I put a lot of dedication and time towards finding for you guys. And so once again, links are provided for you in the description to sign up for my VIP content. I offer 2 packages. I offer the video course and I offer the signals. If you guys can only pick one, I always recommend going with the signals first, because the signals are going to be the thing that helps you make all of the money over this next cycle. It's a lifetime access for both, so it's only a one-time payment. Links are provided for you in the description. You can purchase them together or separate. On top of that, guys, is if you don't want to sign up for any of my VIP content, I do have a free study guide that's linked in the description you can download today. This is a study guide for new guys getting into the market that want to understand a little bit more of the ins and outs of trading and investing. I've also got a 10-part quiz packed in there so you guys can go through, read the contents of the ebook, and then quiz yourself so you retain all of that knowledge learned. Once again, links are provided for you in the description, guys. Check that stuff out. Tons of value, and I want to give you guys some of it for free today. It's not going to cost you anything. And with all that being said, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.